curated the exhibition of 9 artists, all of whom had a similar journey through Manchester Metropolitan University, and a lot of the artists have since worked in different disciplines in the last few years. So painters ended up as printmakers, textile artists ended up as painters, and so on and so forth. So the commonality, I think, is from beginning on the foundation course, when people really experience the idea of drawing and painting and using a broad range of media, and from then on the practice has developed. My own work is to do with landscape, and drawing is essential to me, and it's the first thing I do when I'm starting a new body of work is to draw outside in a landscape, and then very often paint outside as well. So the marks are taken from the landscape, and the materials that I use are just dependent on the kind of landscape I'm painting, really. It's mainly the northwest, although there are some drawings from Wales as well. So there's a whole range of media used. I'm very interested in maps, geology, and what actually happens underneath.
I've done a new body on the collapse of Syria called Moments of Expulsion. And my family background, my grandparents were from Aleppo in Syria, and I've always had quite a strong upbringing with customs and traditions from a Syrian perspective. So the work that I've got here now is made from metal wire that I've knitted, and it's called Aftermath, and the work is responding really to the domestic and the everyday and what's left of a life in Syria. So the sculptures that I've made that are similar to this is My Beautiful Home, and it's just pieces that kind of respond to what's left after conflict in a country such as Syria.
This exhibition is about a group exhibition of graduate students from MMU. I love to participate. Our background studies similarity. And from other side we are different because it's a different technique, different style of work.
I'm trying by abstract language to give you an emotional feeling about the life of those people who've been through war, to stop all the situation changing, make our life with beauty and equality for all of us to stay in peace. And
I enjoy the technique and the style I use.
Mostly I make work that's printed and embroidered. It's based around the idea of my mother, who has got dementia and is in a care home at the moment. But throughout her life, handkerchiefs were something that she always carried with her. From a small child, she never left the house without a handkerchief. And now in her care home, she's still always very keen to have a hanky with her. And when I was clearing out her house, there was something very evocative and special about these handkerchiefs, that they're very connected to her. And so I decided to make work using the handkerchiefs, and it's not something I've ever done before, where I've used an item of something existing, so it's quite a new way of working for me. And I started working on it very instinctively, really, that I just picked up a handkerchief and I started drawing and stitching onto it. And I've taken what I've experimented with is the fact that in her state of dementia, she is often transported back to very different points in her life. So her short-term memory is completely gone, really, but she still has a lot of memories of when she was younger. But I'm also going to go on and make more, and I'm also going to do a set about my father too, because he also carried a handkerchief.
Completed a degree in embroidery at Manchester Metropolitan University. Part of my textile practice was to use dye and stitch to make marks onto cloth. I want to set up a dialogue with the viewer. I make marks onto paper with acrylic paint using a jelly plate onto deli paper. I then rip up and collage the papers to form an image of a landscape, and the eye of the viewer brings their understanding of landscape to engage with the image. So I create emotional landscapes. A lot of this work was actually stimulated by Silverdale and Morecambe Bay, where the sea comes in and goes out from the land very quickly, and you get this lovely shimmering landscape of the bay. But we are all emotionally fascinated by places that have been shaped, say, by the Neolithic, and it is this etched use of landscape that I'm trying to evoke.